No, maybe it's a fruit because it's not Thank you for telling me. And thank you for telling me.
Wow.
Good morning, Slim.
Hi, everyone. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah.
Good.
Miss Rita is in the waiting list and she wants to enter, please.
I'm trying to let Ritash enter, but so far it won't let her in. I don't know what's going on. Oh, now I think she's coming. All right, today we're going to go over some grammar questions if you have any, or Angela's ashes. It's up to you. All attachments I put in SMS this morning, so you will have to resend all of your homework. It's not that much. All right, any questions on Angela's ashes? Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Krish. All right, any questions on grammar?
Yes, Miss. Can we put a semicolon after a comma?
No.
Okay.
Do you have your book in front of you?
The textbook?
Yes.
Yes, I
Okay.
have it. For it.
All right, go to page 342, Hannah.
Yes.
Okay, if you look at rule number 12, use a semicolon between independent clauses that are closely related in meaning, but that are not joined together by and, but, for, nor, so, or yet. All right, that's the first rule for semicolons. The second rule is use a semicolon between independent clauses joined by a conjunctive adverb or a transitional expression. In the two little boxes, you can see conjunctive adverbs or transitional expressions. However, there are many more than what's in the two little boxes here. So you might want to do some research just to pick up on some more, okay? All right, for example, Hannah, look at the example where it says Emma felt shy, semicolon. However, comma, she soon made some new friends. Whenever you see that conjunctive adverb right there, however, and it has a comma behind it, don't touch it, but make sure you put the semicolon in front of the conjunctive adverb and in front of the transitional expression, okay?
Okay.
All right, look at, see down below where it says note. You can look at those examples. The first one is a conjunctive adverb, and then you have a transitional expression. See how they put the semicolon in the first one? However, they have commas before and after the conjunctive adverb. Also, the same in the transitional expression. You have a semicolon, but don't forget to set off the conjunctive adverb or the transitional expression with commas. You see how they're done there?
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand
Thank you.
better?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The next rule of a semicolon is A semicolon may be needed to separate independent clauses joined by a coordinating conjunction when the clause contains commas. For example, the first one is rather confusing. Alana, Eric, and Kim voted for her, and Scott, Roland, and Vanessa voted for Jason. To make this sentence more clear, it should read, Alan, Eric, and Kim voted for her, semicolon, and Scott, Roland, and Vanessa voted for Jason. You have to be really careful when you read the sentences and make sure that you separate the first clause from the second clause with the semicolon, okay? All right, that is all the rules for a semicolon. They're very few, okay? There's only like 3. Also in class, we've already completed the colons. So let me go to page 349 in your textbook. And let's just read the rules real quick. Page 349, use a colon to mean note what follows. Use a colon before a list of items, especially after expressions like the following and as follows. Example, you will need to bring the following equipment, colon, a sleeping bag, a warm sweater, and extra socks. The next one is additional supplies are as follows, colon, a toothbrush, toothpaste, a change of clothes, and a pillow. All right, page 350, the next rule, use a colon before a long formal statement or a long quotation. Horace Mann had this to say, you put the semicolon there before the quotation marks that begins the quotation. Everyone understand that? Hello? Oh my God.
Yes, miss.
Oh, thank you.
No.
I thought y'all left me.
No.
All right, and the third rule, use the colon between independent clauses when the second clause explains or restates the idea of the first clause. For example, Thomas Jefferson had many talents. Colon. He was a writer, a politician, an architect, and an inventor. Now, notice a little note here. The first word of a sentence following a colon is capitalized. Don't think that every word after a colon is capitalized. Only if the following is a sentence, okay? For example, Lois felt that she had done something worthwhile. She had designed and sewn her first quilt. So here you can see that the colon goes after worthwhile, and the next clause begins a sentence, and you have to capitalize the S. All right, use a colon in certain conventional situations. Of course, you know to use a colon between the hour and the minute of any time. Use a colon between the chapter and the verse in biblical references and between titles and subtitles. For example, the first one is a book in the Bible, is Exodus 1. After the 1, you put a colon because then 6 through 14 are the verses. So you need to separate the verses from the book. Now, the next one is what most of my students have problems with every year, between the title and the subtitle. Whales, giants of the sea. So the title of the book or the portrait or whatever is whales. After whales, you need to put a colon because the subtitle is giants of the sea. Everyone understand that?
Yes, miss.
Okay, use a colon after the salutation of a business letter. Now pay attention, guys. Make sure you understand that it's a business letter. For example, to whom it may concern, you should always put a colon there. Dear Dr. Fenton, dear Ms. Gonzalez, or dear sir or madam. All of those would have a colon, okay? And that completes the rules for semicolons and colons. It's an extremely short chapter. I put all of your attachments on SMS right before I started the session. Now, do you have any questions on the grammar? All right, what about Angela's ashes?
No.
Who can summarize Angela's ashes? Hannah Hanny, what country does it take place in? Abdallah, which country does Angela's ashes take place in? Okay, I think they're not all muted because they were talking. Krish, can you hear me? No, I don't think they can hear. Am I muted? No, because they've been answering, but nobody's answering now. See, Debelina has her hand up, so she heard me.
Miss, I also heard you.
Okay, no one answered me. You have to speak to the teacher, guys. I don't know if you can hear or you can't hear. Hannah Hanny, can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I
miss.
can
My
hear you
connection
now.
is fading.
All right, Abdallah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Abdallah, can you hear me?
Yes,
Okay, why didn't you answer me a while ago?
I couldn't unmute.
Which country is Angela's ashes set in?
Miss Lam, can I answer?
No, I called on Abdallah. Krish, which country?
Limerick, I think Ireland or Limerick.
Yes, Limerick, Ireland. Okay.
Thank
If you have not read this story, I would advise you to start reading it. Okay. Abdallah, have you read the story?
I read the first page yesterday.
The first page? Guys, we're almost finished the story in class. So start reading and start filling out your worksheets, okay? All right, any questions about Angela's ashes? Okay, I'm sure you don't have questions because you haven't read the story. So this will end today's session unless you have a question. Raise your hand if you have one. All right, thanks for joining.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Hannah.
Thank you, miss. Thank you.
You're welcome, baby.